Some games are remembered forever because of their sheer drama. This one is famous for the greatest king hunt in chess history. The king was chased across the entire board until it was finally cornered and checkmated. Let's relive this spectacular masterpiece. So, in this game, Lasker Edward, a distant cousin of former world champion Emmanuel Lasker, and black was Thomas George Allen. So Lasker started with the move at d4. Thomas replied with e6. So if Lasker had played e4, then it would be the French defense. Then knight f3 was played. Thomas played f5. So now this is the Dutch defense. Then Lasker played the move knight c3. So developing the knight and at some point planning to play e4. The knight f6 was played by Thomas. Lasker developed the bishop. So now the knight is pinned. So he's planning to play e4 next. So Thomas entices Lasker by playing bishop e7. So he could have played d5 and then dealt with this e4 idea. But then this e5 square would have gotten weaker. So he's like, okay, I don't want to do it. I'll play bishop e7. If you want to play e4, then you will need to give up your bishop. So are you ready to do it? So Lasker is ready for that. He gives up the bishop for the knight to go for the central pawn break to put pressure on the king side, because one of the biggest drawbacks of the Dutch defense is that the king side gets weak. And the central pawn break can help white in putting pressure on black. So in this position, Thomas plays the move f takes e4. And knight takes e4 is played. Then he plays b6. He's like, all right, I'll continue with my regular development. Then in this position, there is no f1. The pawn is not on f7. So Lasker plays the move knight e5. He's like, I might want to play queen h5 at some point and put pressure here. Then castle was played. So in this position, Lasker developed the bishop d3. So keeping the pressure here. Then bishop b7 was played, just developing the bishop. And then in this position, Lasker played queen h5. He's trying to increase the pressure on the king side. If g6, maybe who knows, some sacrifice might also work. So then in this position, so the best move for Thomas would be to actually try and play this. Now some of you would be thinking, wait, is it not a mate after something like this and then knight f6 check? It is not, because what happens is there is rook takes f6, and if queen h7 or bishop h7 is split, then the king has this escape square actually after bishop h7. So that's why there's no mate. So bishop takes e5, and say if d takes e5 or something, then maybe some rook f5 idea. If queen takes e5, then knight c6 idea. So maybe a good move for Lasker would be to play knight d2, tag this, and if g6 is played, then recapture the bishop. And the position basically remains complicated. But then if you had played it, then we wouldn't have this masterpiece. So he plays the move queen e7, just improving the queen's position, and he's like, all right, next move I might play g6, and if sacrifice happens, then my queen can also get shifted on the king side. But here Lasker played a spectacular move. Now before we look at that move, so I want to discuss a bit about chessneurons.com. It's a platform that I've developed to improve your positional chess, and we have quite a good number of features, and we are going to soon bring the courses into it where I'll go more in depth in the topics and different types of topics and try to increase your knowledge. So if you want to cover any specific set of topics or topic in the course, then please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to include that. So now let's get back to the game and let's look at the brilliancy of Lasker. So in this position, Lasker recognized that if he doesn't do something, then maybe g6, and then he wouldn't be able to do something on the king side. So he goes for the brilliant move, queen takes h7. This is the beginning of the king hunt. So king takes h7. So then knight takes f6. Double check. And the king can't go to h8 in this position because knight g6 would just be mate. So king went to h6. Now Lasker played the move knight g4 check. He has actually sacrificed the queen just for a piece, so he needs to keep the pressure on that king. So knight g4 check. The only move is king g5. Then Lasker played the move h4. The relentless pressure on the king continues. Then king f4, only move. G3 check. So king once again f3. The only square the king can go to. See, the king was on g8, then h7, then it went to h6, then it went to g5, then f4, and then f3. The story is still not over. The king's journey is still not over. In this position, bishop e2 check is what Lasker played. So that king still has to travel a bit. Then in this position, of course, the only move is king g2. Now, in this position, there are quite a few ways with which checkmate can happen. So there are two ways checkmate. So of course, one is pretty forced, but there is also another one. So another checkmate in this case. So the first checkmate. Let me first show you the checkmate that Lasker did. So he played the move rook h2, and then after king g1, he played king d2, and it's checkmate. So the king, by the way, king takes h7, then king h6, then king g5, then king f4, then king f3, then king g2, and then king g1, and then it got checkmated. As I mentioned earlier, the greatest king hunt in the history of the game. What a beautiful game. So, and now I want to show you that another checkmate as well. So instead of playing rook h2, by the way, this is of course the best one. Rook takes rook h2 check because that is more forcing. But Lasker could have also played long castle, making the king safe and then connecting the rooks. Of course, the idea is to go for either rook h2 or something like this. This is also made. So a really beautiful game played by Edward Lasker, and yeah, this also shows that if you don't keep your king safe, then such ideas can also work and you can get into serious trouble. Thanks everyone for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.